Good afternoon. Welcome to the National Museum of the American Indian. Today we have a really incredible hoop dance performance for you. So I'd like to turn the mic over to Steve LaRance and to get to the program started.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the National Museum of the American Indian. My name is Steve Wickvaya LaRance. I'm Hopi from the village of Moncopy, and the Hopi people live in northern Arizona in 3 different mesas. My mother's full-blooded Hopi, and my father is a different tribe. He's a tribe called the Assiniboine, and they're a northern plains tribe, and his reservation is in northern Montana. But I basically grew up in the Hopi reservation where a lot of the culture that was instilled within me by my mother and my grandmother and grandfather, who is a very prominent religious leader from the village of Moncopy. It's great to be back here to visit you all here at the National Museum of the American Indian. We were here, I brought my family here when the museum first opened 10 years ago. They're about ready to have their 10-year anniversary, so I can't believe the time has gone by so far. But prior to that, in 2000, I was awarded an artistic fellowship from the National Museum of the American Indian. I'm a Native American jeweler, and my work is done in sterling silver and gold. And I have a dear friend here that has a belt buckle that she can, if you'd like to take a look at some of my work, she's wearing the belt buckle there. That's one of my pieces there. I'll be back actually in December for the National Museum of the American Indian Art Market, which is held on December 6th and 7th right here in the atrium here. So I'll be back to show some of my artwork during that event. But today I'm happy to be here to share a cultural performance with you. It's called the Native American Hoop Dance. And you're going to see my son, Nakotah LaRance, who is a 6-time world hoop dance champion, perform his award-winning hoop dance. Nakotah has traveled all over the world sharing this cultural performance with many people. We taught him the dance when he was 4 years old, and as part of preserving our culture and our language. I have 4 children, and I taught all of my children how to do traditional dances. And one of the dances that we taught him is the Native American hoop dance. And we just did this to try to help keep them tied to the culture and the language of our people, not really knowing down the road that this would take him all over the world and offer him great opportunities to share our native culture with people throughout the world. Nakotah has been dancing since he's been 4 years old, and during that time he's garnered 6 world championships in hoop dancing competition. The World Championship of Hoop Dance is held every year at the world-renowned Heard Museum in Phoenix, Arizona. It's always held in the first week in February. And during that first week in February, all the top hoop dancers come from all over the Indian country here in the United States, as well as First Nations people in Canada. Some very talented hoop dancers come down, and they compete for these world championships. And over the years, Nakotah has won 6 world championships. This led to other opportunities. He's danced on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno in 2004. And then later that year, he was asked to perform on a TV show called America's Most Talented Kids, where he competed against 10 other very talented young people, singers, dancers, and musicians. And Nakotah won the competition with the highest score in the history of the show. So he's world-renowned. This led to other opportunities in film and television. You've seen him on not only The Tonight Show with Jay Leno and America's Most Talented Kids, but he also was offered acting opportunities. So he was in Steven Spielberg's Into the West, where he played a young boy that was sent to boarding school. He also has been seen on HBO's Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee, and Lifetime Television's The True Story of Brandy Black Bear, Not Like Everyone Else. And he's been in many other different independent film and television productions. Most recently, he was on Longmire last season, And this year, his latest short film came out that was shown at the Santa Fe Independent Film Festival last week. But Nakotah's first love has always been dance. And so this is what he loves to share with you. About 5 years ago, we got a call from the world-renowned Cirque du Soleil, and they were creating this new show called Totem. And they wanted to have a Native American dancer as part of the show, so they hired Nakotah as a principal dancer for this show called Totem, which was actually here in the Baltimore area about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. So I'm not sure if any of you got to see that. But it was a traveling show, so Nakotah's performed all over the world. And about 2 years ago, he wanted to come home because we have very strong cultural ties. And he missed some of the ceremonies and some of the cultural things, so he came home. And Cirque du Soleil was really, they didn't want to lose him, but they needed to replace him as a hoop dancer for the show. So they wind up hiring my younger daughter to replace Nakotah as a hoop dancer in the show. So all of our children are very talented dancers. We're very proud of them. A little bit about the hoop dance. The hoop dance has a very ancient history. Its origin is thought to be in the southwest pueblos of New Mexico, and that's where we currently live. The hoop dance in its original form was a healing ceremony. So if you were feeling out of balance physically, spiritually, or mentally, this is one of the many ceremonies that the medicine man would perform to bring you back to balance. But during today's performance, you'll see Nakotah weave his hoops into many different designs found in nature. The hoop or the circle is a very important symbol for many cultures, but in particular the Native American people. It represents the circle or the cycle of life. It represents the seasons. It represents spring, summer, fall, winter, and you come full circle to spring again. It represents the continuous dualities of life. It represents male and female, day and night, life and death. But the most important symbolism of the hoop dance is the sacred circle of life and all the beauty within it. So during Nakotah's performance today, he will weave his hoops into many different designs found in nature. So look for these designs. Look for the butterfly. Look for the eagle. Look for the design that represents the trees and the plants of the world. Look for the flower. Look for a design called the ladder of life, which represents our journey here on earth as an infant, as a child, as a young person, as an adult, as an elder. This ladder of life represents our journey here on earth. Look for other designs as the horseback rider and the horse and the rider, and also look for a design called the crocodile or the water serpent. The water serpent is a very important Pueblo deity to us. The water serpent carries our prayers for rain and water so that all of us, the plants, the animals, and the human beings are nourished through the water that comes from the rain clouds. And look for the most important design, Mother Earth of the world. This is the most symbolic design of the representative of the hoop dance. So without further, and if actually I want to say, if you see a design that Nakotah's weaving during his dance, feel free to applaud if you like it, because that really encourages him and really steps it up for him. So if you see a design that you like, feel free to applaud during the performance. I give you 6-time world hoop dance champion, Nakotah LaRance. Nakotah LaRance, six-time world hoop dance champion. This last image that we created is a very important image, and we always try to share a little bit about the Native American philosophy with our audiences. But this world is put together not with only one hoop, but multiple hoops. And all of us come from multiple cultures and multiple backgrounds. And to make a stronger world, we all have to work together to create a beautiful world, as shown in this example of the design of Mother Earth. Mother Earth is a very important symbol for many cultures, but in particular Native Americans. We believe she's a living, dynamic being, and at this point she's in a very fragile state. Her resources are being overused with global warming and climate change, and if we can keep that in mind, if we can use her resources more wisely, and if we can pick up after ourselves and clean up after ourselves whenever we go camping or wherever we're out, if we can do that to help Mother Earth, then we can really truly leave a beautiful gift for our children and our grandchildren. And I hope that you will take this message to heart and carry it with you today and beyond. Thank you so much for your kind attention, and I'm glad you enjoyed the performance today. We'd like to give you the opportunity to ask any questions about the dance or the culture or anything about Native Americans. If you'd like to raise your hand and ask any questions, we'd love to do that. And afterwards, Nakotah will be here to take photographs with you as well. So do we have any questions from the audience? She asked, are all those dance steps in the dance, are they modern dance steps or are they traditional? This dance is kind of based off of some of what we call the fancy dance in powwow circles, and we call it the fancy dance, but the cowboys used to call it the war dance. So some of his dances and footwork are traditional, but they're also contemporary too. So he does throw in some hip hop moves. Okay. How many years ago? Okay, she asked, how many years ago did the hoop dance come from? It comes from centuries, hundreds of years ago. So it was a dance that the medicine man did to help heal you, bring you back to balance. Yes, ma'am. What are the hoops made out of? The hoops traditionally were made out of river reeds that we found around the rivers of the Southwest. But today we're a modern people as well, so these hoops are made out of the modern PVC piping. Yes. So, and these hoops were actually made by Cirque du Soleil for Nakotah. And so. She would like to know how you make the hoops into the ball, or Mother Earth of the world. And it's a very complicated process. Nakotah's been dancing since he's been about 4 years old, and he's 25 now. But what he does is he kind of weaves them around his body, and as you saw, he wove them around his body, and then he has to kind of pull it, he has to extricate himself out of it. So if you notice that he wove it around his body and then he pulled it up, so somebody as big as me, I couldn't do it, so you have to be slim and trim. So, any other questions? Yes, sir. Why hoops? The hoops represent the sacred circle of life. So the hoop or the circle is a very important symbol. So this dance is representative of the circle or cycle of life. But if you look at my drum is also in a circular manner. And so the Native people, when we always have our ceremonies, we dance in a circular fashion because the circle represents a beginning without end. But it also represents the beauty of Mother Earth as well and all the beautiful things within it. So during the dance, you see these beautiful designs, the butterfly, the eagle, and other designs as well. So, thank you. How many years did it take him to learn this dance? He learned when he was 4 years old, so he's 25 now. So he's been dancing for 21 years. And just like anything else that you learn, we try to tell the kids, keep practicing, because if you notice that he picks up the hoops with his feet, because we believe you should never reach down and pick up your hoop off the ground. So he picks up his hoops with his feet. And when Nakotah first started doing that when he was a little boy, it was hard for him to do it, and he'd get frustrated. So I'd tell him, well, go take a break, go outside and play a while, and he'd do that. And then he'd come back and he'd practice again. And after so much times of practicing, just like anything else we do, you can get good at it. And so it's taken him 20 years to get to this level. Oh, he was skateboarding the other day. He likes skateboarding, and he fell off of his skateboard, so that's why he's got... So, well, I'd like to thank you for your kind attention, and if you'd like to come up and take a photograph with Nakotah, we'd be happy to spend some time with you. Thank you so much.
Come on,